Looking back, our relationship started when I was working in a business. I know that you'd been doing some work with the leadership and management team within that business, but we were looking to do a piece of work into that business that I suppose was looking to develop and transform the culture. So we had a typical customer and supplier relationship at that stage, Chris. We started off, we designed the program that we wanted to do. We put an RFP together and went out to a number of suppliers for that specific piece of work, which, as I say, was around a consultative selling, but also a cultural transformational work. We went away as a business, we drew up our success criteria of what we were looking for the best selected supplier to achieve. And we were gobsmacked when you came back and you hit every single one of the criteria. You clearly understood us really well. We did that piece of work. It took a short while, but your involvement alongside the leadership team really helped to transform that business. It went from strength to strength. We quickly saw a return on the investment that we put into that program. It made a profound change to that business, an impact which is still being felt some 15 years later. And from a personal perspective, the people within that business, they went through a massive transformation themselves, a number of which have gone on to do brilliant careers in the insurance industry now, but they still refer back to that learning and that experience that they had and how it changed their whole outlook on life. So it was pretty profound, and that's been the catalyst to our relationship for the last 15 years. You know, it's nice having a great relationship, but ultimately I only refer you to my clients, Chris, because you make me look good. And I'll give you 2 or 3 examples of what you've managed to do for a couple of my clients. One area would be recruitment. It's an area which most businesses find really tricky and costly and quite difficult to succeed in. And so the recruitment area, the bringing on of new talent into a business is pretty difficult. And it's not something that many businesses get right. But what you've got, Chris, is a black belt standard, in my view, of not just talent dynamics, but also the personal coaching and assistance that you provide to those people that go through talent dynamics. For those people who don't know, talent dynamics is a profiling toolkit with a difference, and Chris has manipulated talent dynamics to make it specifically relevant to my clients and the sectors in which we operate. And now I've got clients who would not recruit without first speaking to Chris, asking the candidate to go through a talent dynamics profile, and then sitting down with Chris to understand exactly what that profile is telling them. I've seen great examples where we've managed to avoid common mistakes in recruitment of recruiting the wrong people into the wrong job. I've also seen great examples where people have applied for one particular job, but their profile points them towards a different role within an insurance broking business, and the broker has then had the conversation with the candidate and proceeded on that new role. But I've also seen examples where you've been able to give confidence to my clients when they were perhaps thinking they weren't quite sure about a particular candidate, whether it was right or wrong, but the profile has given them a unique understanding of that individual, and it's given them the confidence to proceed with someone that they thought was perhaps not too certain, and they've resulted and found out them to be a complete star in the business and a brilliant fit for the culture and the role which they were recruited for. So it's really helped as far as recruitment is concerned. The second area I would say, Chris, again on the talent dynamics side, is the work that you've done with a couple of clients around their existing teams. Talent dynamics is a great tool in its own right, but the real I suppose the real energy comes from your personal coaching and the workshops that you provide to existing members of staff. I've got a couple of great examples where the leaders of the business have now got a completely new insight into their existing team and what motivates them, how they should interact with them, how to get the most of them, only because of the work that Talent Dynamics and your personal coaching has given to them. I've got good examples where businesses have been uncertain about specific staff. Perhaps they thought that the staff didn't really get it. They thought perhaps the member of staff doesn't really fit. But actually the issue wasn't with the individual member of staff. The issue was with the leader of the business. The leader wasn't communicating in a manner that the staff could understand and easily receive the information that they were being asked to do. By giving them the insight, by giving the leader the insight about the people and what really motivates them and how to talk to them, it's completely changed the way the leader now engages with their staff and is able to get the most out of them. And for people that perhaps were not seen as being on the bus, I would say they're fully on the bus now, if not the driver. So it's been really transformational, that has, and the individual people within that businesses have really benefited from your personal coaching and your personal involvement, and to help them to understand perhaps at a level which they get what the business is really asking them to do. And then lastly, an example I would give would be around significant cultural change within a business. We've got 2 or 3 good examples where you've invested significant time to understand not just where the business is now, but where it needs to be. And you've helped design what that destination looks like and is going to feel like. And what you've done is to align yourself very closely to that business, not just the leadership, but the people within it, to provide a transformational learning program, as well as lots of tools and toolkits that the staff can use to help them transform that business. And your personal coaching and development of those teams have enabled them to have a very safe journey in that transformation. And they've made that move in a very considered way. That's allowed those businesses to completely transform. They've transformed the business, the people, and I think those businesses now are considered thought leaders, sector leaders in their industry through that cultural transformation that you've enabled. So my clients are very grateful for everything that you've done, Chris, and they wouldn't be doing it without you. I mean, your specialism in people development, cultural change is a real fascination to me, and it's an area which most of my clients, and I think most businesses, find really tough. I think people find managing people really difficult, but you seem to have a very unique talent at it. I have no hesitation in recommending you to any of my clients. I wouldn't go anywhere else. You've invested significant time to understand not just my clients, but the sector as well. And that's been really important, because you've tailor-made your approach to make it really meaningful to my clients in the sector in which I operate. Many of them have got common challenges and common opportunities, and each have got cultural opportunities and challenges similarly. And what you've done is really help those businesses by dedicating time, effort, commitment to get the best out of those businesses, but more importantly, their staff, and to help individuals either through personal one-to-one coaching or development programs, cultural transformation programs to help them grow. So I think most businesses see their people as their biggest asset. And you have a unique talent, in my view, Chris, that helps businesses to get the best out of their people when perhaps the leadership of the business struggle to do that themselves.